More Meeples presents Meeple Motivators, a series of short videos to help motivate you to get a game to the table that you've been dreading to relearn. These are not meant to be complete rule summaries, but a tool to assist in refreshing your memory on how to play that great game that has been sitting on your shelf for months. In this episode, we'll talk about Inish, designed by Christian Martinez and published by Matagot. You and your opponents are playing as ancient Celtic chieftains who have recently discovered a new island. All of you want to become the new High King and rule over the others. Your objective is to fulfill more of the following conditions than your opponents to be elected and win the game. Have a presence in 6 or more territories. More will be added throughout the game. Be chieftain over a combined total of 6 or more opposing clans. Have a presence in territories that have a combined total of 6 sanctuaries. There are 2 phases to each round in Inish, the assembly phase and the seasons phase. There are reference cards that have information on both sides to help you remember throughout the game. This video won't be covering the details of any cards, but you should be aware that playing them is the only way to perform any actions. This includes moving clans, exploring new territories, and even building new sanctuaries and citadels. The first player of each round is called the Brenn, and will serve as a temporary leader until the High King is elected. The Brenn marker is given to the chieftain of the territory with the capital. Then it is time to check to see if any player that has a pretender token meets any victory conditions. If not, all pretender tokens are returned to the supply. We'll talk more about these later. In each territory, identify the chieftain by the player who has the most clans present. The yellow advantage card of every territory is given to its chieftain. The Brenn takes the Flock of Crows token and flips it like a coin. This will set the turn order for the round. The Brenn takes the appropriate number of green action cards, depending on the player count, and shuffles them together. 1 is placed face down, and then 4 are dealt to each player. The 2-player rules are a bit different. See the rulebook for more information. In a 3 to 4 player game, each player will secretly look at their starting hand of 4 cards, choosing 1 to set aside. Then draft in the direction of the Flock of Crows token. When you receive your next hand, add the card you set aside back in, then choose any 2 cards. Repeat in this fashion, increasing the number of cards you draw each round, until each player has drafted 4 cards into their hand. The Brenn starts by playing a card, and then the next player has a choice to play a card, pass, or take a pretender token. Let's go into a bit more detail. The active player may play one of their green action cards, doing the action listed on the bottom, and placing it into a face-down discard pile. If they have a yellow advantage card from their territory, they may play it to do the action on the bottom and place it face down near the play area. Lastly, they can play red epic tail cards that have been acquired earlier in the game into a face-up discard pile. If the player does not want to play any more cards, they can pass. They will be able to play again this season unless all other players pass consecutively. If the active player meets at least 1 victory condition, they may take a pretender token, provided they do not already have one. They will hold on to this token until the next assembly, even if they no longer meet the victory condition at any point in the season. Once all players have passed, everyone will keep their red epic tail cards, but must discard all action cards. If a player still has a yellow advantage card, they only keep it if they are still the chieftain of the corresponding territory. Otherwise, it is placed face up near the play area. Other than some card effects, a clash happens when clans are moved into a territory that contains opposing clans. Newly placed clans won't initiate a clash. The player that caused the clash is called the instigator. If the clash was initiated from a card effect, the card will say which player is the instigator. When a clash occurs, it must be resolved immediately before finishing the round. Players will have a chance to hide one of their clans from the clash by placing it into an unoccupied citadel. This goes in turn order, starting with the player after the instigator. Each citadel can only store one clan. Move on to clash resolution once either all of the citadels are full or players choose not to fill them. Clans not stored in a citadel are considered exposed. The instigator starts the resolution phase, and all players with an exposed clan may make a maneuver. There are 3 possible maneuvers: attack, withdraw, and epic tale. Before each and every maneuver, all players with exposed clans may choose to end the clash immediately if all parties agree. To attack, the attacker targets an opponent with at least one exposed clan in the clashing territory. The defender can do one of 2 things: block the attack by discarding any green action card from their hand, or they may remove one of their exposed clans from the territory, returning it to their reserve. You may withdraw any of your exposed clans to adjacent territories where you are also the chieftain. This maneuver will not initiate a clash. Some of the red epic tale cards you've acquired may also say they can be played as a maneuver during a clash. Once an agreement has been made, or if there are no more exposed clans in the territory, the clash ends. Any clans who were in the citadels in that territory are placed back. If you play a card that gives you a deed token, keep it in front of you at all times. Each deed will contribute to any one victory condition by adding 1 to the number required. As an example, let's say you are present in 5 territories. A deed would allow you to satisfy the victory condition for being present in 6 territories. Remember to only check for victory during the assembly phase. Only players who have a pretender token qualify for victory, even if they otherwise meet 1 or more of the victory conditions. The player who meets the most victory conditions is the winner. If no one wins and becomes the High King, return all pretender tokens to the supply and resume the assembly phase. Please remember that there are some rule modifications to the assembly phase for a 2-player game. These can be found in the rulebook. And that wraps up this episode of Meeple Motivators. We hope you're able to use this quick video to gain the motivation to get this game to the table soon.